I want to take a moment to demonstrate focusing. Focusing was created by a guy named Eugene Gendlin, probably back in the 70s, I think. And it is one of the tools that I have incorporated into the work that I do with people, into the thing I call the compassion process, because I use it and kind of add in some things from the Sedona Method and from some other tools, and kind of combine them in that thing I call the compassion process. But I have such a respect for focusing, and I don't know why it doesn't get more attention, why it doesn't get more, why it's not more well known. But anyway, I want to demonstrate it for you, because I think it's so powerful and such an important piece, and helping us work with what's really happening inside, and helping us know what's really happening inside. Because there's this way that we can have a feeling or be aware of a feeling and think we know why. But oftentimes once we get down into the body and connect with what we call the inner body, we often find that's not what we thought it was at all. So I'm going to see if I can demonstrate. It would be easy if I could pick a topic that feels problematic, or feels like I have a feeling about right now, but I can't think of one. So I think I'll just notice what's happening here now. And so I can tell you that in this moment, my energy feels pretty good and light, and I feel, pretty happy. It's a beautiful day. It's starting to turn fall. I'm sitting here on the property, and it's beautiful. So I'm only mildly aware of there being something happening inside. So maybe you'll just want to follow along with me as I notice. So first thing we do in this process is feel ourselves in our bodies. So I'm going to take a moment to feel my body in the chair, and feel my feet on the ground. Sometimes I scan the bottoms of my feet and feel the different parts of my feet on both feet. Sometimes I wiggle my toes a little bit. And I'm already noticing something, but I'll wait until I demonstrate how to connect more with the body. So feel the weight of your rear end in the chair. And feel your back up against the chair, or whatever it is you're sitting on. And take a moment to be open to the sounds in your environment. You don't need to name them or comment to yourself about them. Just notice them as you feel your body in the chair. And now I'm noticing my breath. I'm noticing the muscles that are contracting and expanding. So I breathe in and out. And kind of have a sense of what muscles are engaging. And right now I feel the muscles here in my belly kind of engaging. And then we typically take a moment to notice what's happening in kind of the front of our bodies, on the inside. So I pay attention to your throat and your chest and your abdomen. I say sometimes maybe your jaw and the back of your neck. These are areas where we typically hold feelings. And so I just want to gently check inside and let myself notice whatever's here now. And I notice a subtle tightening in my jaw. And a slight something in my throat. I just notice myself wanting to swallow, as if there is a little bit of a lump in my throat. But I'm just going to take a moment to check in with those two places and see if that's an accurate description. So we're just describing as best we can with how it seems when we first notice. But then we want to check back in and see, would those words fit, or would I describe that differently? So I'll check and see what's here now. So this feels more like a slight clamping way back here. And the sensation in my throat, there's a little quivery kind of feeling here, just very subtle. A quivery. And my throat was feeling like it had something in it, but that has shifted and kind of moved to create this quivery feeling. And there's something I feel here and behind my eyes. Can't tell if it's sadness or fear or both. So I'll check and see and just wait with it. Yes, there's a sense of a much younger version of me. You know, when a little child is scared and they kind of cry a little bit at the same time, kind of whimpery. So it has that quality to it. And so my chin is wanting to quiver. Like my teeth chattering just very subtly. So I'm just going to let that happen as I breathe. There's a subtle sense of wanting to get away from something. I'm checking to see if that feels right. Yeah, it does. And so as soon as I say that and acknowledge that, there's a settling. There's a settling. It's like things settle, and I go, and my awareness is less here and it's deeper. It kind of lowers in my body some. The quivering is mostly stopped. And now there is a feeling of almost a lump in my throat here. And there is something that I think feels like sadness. I'm just going to just be with it for a moment and see if that feels right. Yes. And as I acknowledge that, again, there's a settling. And that settling and that sadness has sort of settled. It's settled almost to my chest. It is settled, but it has spread and dissipated. Yeah. And now there's a grounded quality that's here now, like as if almost like not a blanket, but like a I don't know. It's not a blanket. It's not a cloud, but just a soft, weighted, and it feels good. Not weighted. It's negative feeling. Weighted. It's a good feeling. It's like just like something or something just helping me settle in a sense of everything's going to be all right kind of feeling. It just settles, my whole body just settles and relaxes into the chair more. And my breath is more full and open now. I didn't notice that it wasn't full and open before. It felt pretty good, but now it's fuller and more open. And there's an opening in my chest around my heart. And there's still, again, a little something in my throat. A sadness, and kind of a tightness around my head, and something that feels like a resistance to something, or bracing against something, or a sense of it shouldn't be this way. I'm just going to be with that for a minute. I'm not sure what that is. Just going to sit with that for a minute. But apparently that was right, because then spontaneously took a breath. And there feels like there's more space. And there's a kind of a tightening in the back of my neck. This around my face has opened and relaxed, and there's some tightening here. Which often for me is bracing against the way it is, or not wanting it to be this way, whatever the it is. I mean, I'm going to be aware of that, but I'm not going to like marry that, you know. I'm not going to be attached to that. I want to stay open to this and what this feels like. And it's now moving to a kind of a pressure back of my head. And a smile happens for some reason, and there's a sense of more freedom. And this thought just came spontaneously. It's okay to be sad. Yeah. It's okay to be sad. And now there's a sense of freedom. Yeah, now there's a sense of freedom. And feeling more grounded than I did when I started this. And my breath is lower in my body, and it's more full. It's fuller and more rounded than it was. And there's this kind of wanting to move my head, because I didn't realize that this was as tense as it was, and now the tension has released. It's like, oh, now I can move my head around. That feels pretty good. And I'm just checking in to see if there's anything else, or does this feel like a pretty good stopping place? It feels like there's more grief here. Still a residual tension here. But for now, it feels okay to be with. It's less than it was. And sometimes, just depending on the time, how much time I have, I might feel like I'm at enough of a stopping place with it to gently acknowledge whatever's still here and let it be here. Doesn't need to be fixed, doesn't need to be changed. And it's not so strong that I can't just be with it and let it be here as I go up to the house and fix some lunch and get ready for my next appointments today. But there's a wholeness that's happening here. There's a wholeness that's here, like almost like a oneness. Like there's a feeling like a sense of a wholeness with me as myself and all the different parts of myself and everything else that's here and happening now. Nature and the airplane and the crickets and yeah, there's just an embodied aliveness that's here. Yeah. And now that sadness is gone. It kind of merged with everything. It's strange. It kind of just merges with everything else, and now it's not contracted enough that I can even recognize it. Yeah. Yeah. So I hope you found this helpful. How much time have I spent doing this? Okay, I'll wrap it up. Hope you found this helpful. Is just a reminder of the power of grounding and quieting the mind a little bit, and using it and our awareness to welcome and be curious about what's happening inside, the felt sense of what's happening inside. And I was able to identify emotions like sadness and fear as I did this today, because it was clear that was the quality of the energy that was happening. But it's not necessary or important to be able to put a feeling word label on what's happening. As a matter of fact, trying to do that too quickly will often get us in our heads and make it so we're not so open and receptive to listening to what's happening inside. And there are other tools that we could use, that I'll often use if I'm finding myself noticing a feeling and the feeling seems to be stuck. There are lots of tricks that we can do with that. Usually when the feeling seems to be stuck, it's because we're looking at the feeling like a predator. Like, what's the feeling doing? Like almost like we're trying to get it to go away without realizing we're kind of really trying to get it to go away by watching it. So what we want to do is look at what's happening inside with what we call soft eyes, like not predator eyes, you know. We want to look at it be with it with soft eyes. And another thing that happens, when a feeling seems to be stuck, is because we're bracing against it and don't realize it. So one of the things we can do is just notice the seeming stuck feeling, and then go back and forth. This is a modified version of the Sedona Method's holistic releasing that I like. So if you let yourself be aware of where something feels stuck, just notice it, and then feel your feet, and then notice where it feels stuck and feel your feet. Notice where it feels stuck and feel your feet. You can kind of go back and forth at that pace, and often that will help unlock or make clearer or move the place that feels stuck, because you've given your mind something else to do other than look at it like a predator. So that's just a little trick. So anyway, I hope you found this brief and probably incomplete explanation helpful and is a good reminder. And if you have any questions about it, feel free to let me know. You can send me an email to shellyascoach@gmail.com.